Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into yet another fascinating and mysterious stories, I would like to invite you to watch, to like, and subscribe to the channel. Also activate the notification sound from the celestial realms. From a perspective beyond your understanding, we observe the questions that stir in human hearts. One question echoes often, a profound question that touches on the nature of good and evil, on the power of the divine. Why hasn't God, the Almighty Creator, destroyed Satan? God is holy, perfectly righteous, He is light, and He hates evil, pure, unadulterated evil. Yet why is Satan still alive? Why does he continue existing, and causing so much suffering, so much pain in the world you inhabit? The Lord is all-powerful, all-knowing. He could have made him disappear, vanished, with just a word, a single thought, but He didn't. He let him live. He allowed him to continue. Why? This is a question we will address in this very moment. For you, the answer. It is not simple, not a quick phrase, but it is clear, found plainly in the Holy Bible, God's revealed truth. Today, you will learn why God hasn't eliminated Satan or the fallen angels, those who followed him, and you will gain deep insight into God's eternal plan. A plan of immense scope. If you believe in the Lord, in His power, in His plan, leave a comment below, declare your faith, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful revelations, more glimpses into divine truth before becoming God's enemy. Before the rebellion, Satan was an angel. But not just any angel, he was special, unique. God desired to do something extraordinary. And from His infinite wisdom, His boundless love, He created Lucifer, the morning star. His name itself means light. He was a cherub, one of the heavenly beings, closest to God's presence. The divine light. Lucifer was not just beautiful, he was the epitome of beauty, adorned with precious stones. Radiant, he was the leader whom all other angels followed. He overflowed with wisdom and radiated glory. God had not created evil. He had created perfection. Lucifer was made, designed, to mirror, to reflect God's divine glory, to point all attention to the Creator. Yet something happened. A subtle shift within him, a thought, took root in his heart, pride, but it blinded him. Blinded by his own splendor, his own perceived greatness, Lucifer allowed this pride to consume him. What once had been his greatest gift, his extraordinary beauty and wisdom, became his downfall, the source of his ruin. The beauty everyone admired became the breeding ground for his destructive ambition and his hunger for glory. His own glory gradually consumed him. This desire, this internal shift, changed everything. Where there once had been light, pure reflection of God, darkness slowly began to spread. Within his being, it was no longer enough for Lucifer to worship and serve God as he was created to do. An unchecked ambition was born. Within him, he yearned to be worshipped, himself to receive the adoration he felt he deserved. He desired to elevate himself to God's own place, or even higher, to usurp the throne. And he declared in his heart, "I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High." A clear declaration of rebellion. Lucifer no longer sought to serve. He began to desire worship. He craved it. No longer did he wish to reflect God's glory. He craved his own. That was the moment when balance, divine order was shattered. Lucifer ceased to be a servant and became a rebel against the Creator. And he didn't act alone. He convinced through deception and pride 1/3 of the angels to join his cause. Beings created for worship now rebelled against their Creator, against the source of their existence. And thus began the rebellion. This wasn't symbolic warfare, not a metaphorical struggle. It was real, spiritual, and final in its outcome. But make no mistake, from our perspective, from the heavenly view, this was not a battle between equals. Never. There is a misconception, repeated so often in human narratives, that many people accept it without question. The image of an eternal struggle between good and evil. as if God and Satan faced each other, on equal ground, light versus darkness, heaven against hell, locked in an unending cosmic battle. But let us share something the Bible makes crystal clear, beyond any doubt. God has no rival. There is no being, no entity, neither on earth, nor in heaven, nor anywhere in creation, who can equal the Creator, the Alpha and Omega. God is not at war to determine if He wins. He has already won. The victory was secured. Before the rebellion even began, the false balance between good and evil is not biblical. It is a distortion, an illusion, that originated from human philosophy, from movies, from human storytelling, but not from the kingdom of God. Satan is not the dark side that somehow evens out some imaginary cosmic scale. He is not equal in power nor authority, nor glory. He is a created being, a creature, and no creature, no matter how powerful it once was, can compare to its creator. When Lucifer rebelled, he did not become a worthy rival to God. Instead, he became an enemy, already defeated. His fate sealed. From the moment he turned away from the light, from the source of all life, the war in heaven, and Lucifer's appointed moment of judgment, they are sealed and recorded in the book of Revelation. For those with eyes to see, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. Satan does not come alone. He arrives with an army of fallen angels, those he deceived, but standing firm against him is the defender of the kingdom, Michael the archangel, warrior of faithfulness, commander of God's armies, guardian of the holy people. When rebellion breaks out, Michael rises with his flaming sword, raised high. He summons the heavenly hosts, legions upon legions, of faithful angels, to defend the kingdom of heaven. Legions of faithful angels line up behind their leader, ready for the most decisive battle of all, and the result it is already written, sealed in the divine record, but they could not prevail. They were overcome. Nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. Their time there was finished. And the great dragon, that ancient serpent, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world, he was thrown down, cast out to the earth, and his angels, his defeated army, were cast down with him. Satan is defeated. Along with him, all the angels who followed him, who chose rebellion. Lucifer never stood a chance against the Creator, the accuser. He was cast out, removed from the heavenly courts, and every angel who sided with him lost their place in heaven. Forever. This tells us much. God did not fight. He did not need to. He did not step onto the battlefield in a direct confrontation. It was the loyal angels, led by Michael, who carried out his command, his decree. This demonstrates the immense power of God. He doesn't even need to make a move himself to defeat Satan. His will is sufficient. That was their initial judgment. Their immediate consequence, exile, cast out. From the heavenly kingdom they descended to the earth, to the human realm. And with him, fell the fallen angels. Those who once shone brightly in God's presence, reflecting His glory, now walk in darkness, filled with bitterness, determined to drag humanity down with them. To share their fate, Lucifer would now be called Satan, the enemy, the adversary. Yet often, we speak about Satan, demons, and fallen angels, as if they were the same, being interchangeable, but they're not. The Bible distinguishes clearly between them, and we should too, to understand the spiritual battle. Who exactly are the fallen angels? As we said, they are angels who once stood in God's presence. They were created in glory. They dwelt in heaven, and joined the rebellion, led by Lucifer. And when he fell, they fell alongside him. They didn't lose their spiritual nature, their intelligence, or their ability to act, their angelic power. What they lost was their place in God's kingdom, their access to His presence. But pay attention, this is crucial. They did not become demons. They are not the same category. So then, who are demons? The Bible does not explicitly define their exact origin, but one thing remains clear. Demons are disembodied spirits, They are unclean beings, belonging neither to heaven nor earth. They have no body, yet continually seek one. That's why Jesus so often cast them out of possessed people, because demons need to inhabit a body in order to operate, to exert influence in the physical realm. In Luke's Gospel, we see an example. When Jesus frees the demon-possessed man in the region of the Gerasenes, the demons within him, they beg Jesus with urgency, "Do not send us into the abyss." They plead to be allowed to enter a herd of pigs. This reveals their condition, their desperate need. They roam, they seek, and they possess, looking for a host. Fallen angels, however, do not seek bodies. They occupy a different rank, a higher level, since they once were part of the heavenly order. Yet, they still hold hierarchy, organization, influence. They don't wander aimlessly, they are structured. Paul makes this clear in his letter. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, against human enemies, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly realms. These principalities and powers, these rulers of darkness, they are fallen angels. They are strategically positioned, they act according to clear plans, hierarchical structures, and their leader Satan has not surrendered his throne of darkness. Understanding this distinction is essential for understanding the spiritual battle. While demons tend to attack individual people, seeking to inhabit them, fallen angels influence entire systems, kingdoms, structures, governments, and cultures, working on a grander scale. But here's where many become confused. If God is so powerful, if they are already defeated, why would God allow this? Why weren't they destroyed, eliminated completely, immediately? Instead, they were cast down to the earth. From that moment, heaven was no longer the primary battlefield. Now the fight has shifted here to the human realm. There are several reasons for this from the divine perspective. First, we must grasp a crucial point, a fundamental truth. Spirits do not die, as your physical bodies do. Jesus himself said it clearly. God is spirit, and when God created angels, he made them spiritual beings, like himself in nature, though not in power or divinity. That means they don't have physical bodies like you do. Therefore, they don't face death in the same way you and I understand it. Satan cannot be destroyed, annihilated in the way humans can. He can't simply cease to exist. His nature is spiritual, and spiritual realms do not follow the same rules as the physical world. But there is a deeper truth to consider, more fundamental. God is perfectly just. His justice is flawless, pure, and in end as flawless justice. No one, no being, not is destroyed without first facing judgment. A just evaluation of their deeds. Their time simply hasn't come yet. Their designated moment for final judgment. They haven't yet faced the ultimate declaration of God's judgment. Because they were made as eternal spiritual beings, their existence continues, and for reasons known only to Him, in the fullness of His plan. God has allowed them to remain active for a time, a specific period, until the designated day arrives, the day of final reckoning. Yes, even Satan will ultimately face judgment. He will not escape it. Not because evidence against him is lacking, far from it, but because judgment is part of God's divine order, His perfect system. Judgment isn't simply punishment, it's more profound. It's a public declaration of truth, of righteousness. It showcases God's perfect justice before the entire universe, before all creation. This is why Revelation speaks of the great day of judgment, a day when everything will be revealed, every hidden thing, when every being, angel and human, alike will give an account for their deeds, their choices. No one will be able to say they never had a chance, were never heard, or didn't receive fair treatment. God's justice is absolute. That day hasn't arrived yet in your timeline, but it is written, it is sealed, and it will surely come. So then, returning to the question, why did God allow Satan to continue living? because God doesn't act the way we do in our human impatience. We want immediate solutions. We want evil to vanish right away, instantly. God does not improvise. His plan is eternal. He moves with purpose, with divine intentionality, every passing day, every choice we make, every struggle we endure, every triumph. It is woven into a greater plan, a tapestry of redemption, a plan where God's patience doesn't show weakness or hesitation, but rather expresses His immense love, His unwavering justice. Just as Satan was cast out from heaven, he too will face judgment, final and complete, and he will not escape his predetermined fate. But that fate will come when the judge himself decides it is time. In the meantime, we continue onward, knowing with absolute certainty that justice, divine justice, is on its way, and that God, although he may seem slow in human eyes, never fails. His promises are true. Here is a key truth to grasp. God hasn't lost control over the universe, over this realm. He is not struggling. He has chosen deliberately to wait until the final judgment for profound reasons, so that we, humanity, and potentially other beings, can learn can grow can understand we learn endurance. Through the struggles evil causes, we learn discernment, to recognize the influences of fallen powers, and to trust completely, wholly, in His perfect justice even when its manifestation seems delayed. Because His victory, His ultimate triumph, isn't displayed only through instant destruction, but through complete redemption, restoration, and the final public judgment of all that opposes Him. Have faith, trust His plan, His justice is coming, and His victory is assured. Amen.